everybody, this is Monica Mean, and welcome to a very special presentation about one core secret strategy on how you can start earning anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 per week. And yes, that is to start. Like Victoria, she earns about $3,500 per week on average with this ultimate side hustle business. Or take Kevin, he earns on average $4,200 per week on average with this ultimate side hustle business. Or Amabel, she makes about $5,800 per week on average with this ultimate side hustle business. And so in this training, you're going to discover exactly how you too can also earn this kind of income and much, much more with a very unique home-based business opportunity that you probably never considered before. So if you're worried about your financial future and you don't have any control over what's going on right now, especially in the economy and the way things are with hyperinflation, and you never want to have to worry about money ever again, then this is definitely a business opportunity for you. Or if you're tired of trying different money-making opportunities just to waste a ton of money and never get anywhere, or find out that it's a business that takes forever to actually launch and start earning income from, and you're finally looking for something that actually works, then this is the business for you. Or maybe you like the idea of earning at least $2,500 per week in a high-end demand side hustle freelancer opportunity while having a blast with each individual assignment. And if that sounds like you, then this is definitely a business opportunity for you. So if any of this describes you, then please note that you're in the right place. And by the end of this training, you'll have the exact step-by-step success blueprint to take you from exactly where you are now to earning hundreds, even thousands of dollars per week with this little known high-end demand business. And you can do this in no time at all. So you're probably wondering, well, Monica, what is this opportunity? What am I going to be making all this money doing? And the answer is that you will become a profitable, high-in demand freelance copywriter, even if you have no skill sets whatsoever. Maybe English is your second language. Maybe you failed out of high school English. And if that also describes you, don't worry, because I'm going to share with you a hack on how you could become a highly profitable copywriter, even if you don't have very many copywriting, writing, or even English skills to speak of, okay? So take Jahani. He earns $2,500 per week on average, specializing in emails, website copy, ads, and sales copies. And he has English as a second language, so he definitely makes a killing doing this, and he didn't even start off with the English language growing up. Or Lauren, she earns $3,000 per week on average, specializing in website copy, ads, video, sales letter scripts, and crowdfunding. And then, of course, you could take Raphael. He earns $4,500 per week on average, writing emails for online marketers and businesses, and he's doing really, really well with it, and that could be you as well. So what is a copywriter exactly? Well, the definition of a copywriter is a person who writes text for advertisements or public material, mostly for businesses, people who write sales copy for, say, website brochures, sales letters, among other things, especially when it comes to online marketers. They're looking for people for website copy, email blasts, and email drip campaigns. They're also looking for people who are really good at video sales letter scripts. So all of these things fall under the copywriting umbrella category. This also includes, and especially now, mind you, if you're wondering what a VSL is, or video sales letter, it's all of those people that are promoting things on Facebook or YouTube video ads where they're scripted video sales pieces. Or when you get to a website and you see somebody talking into a video camera and they're saying things in a salesy kind of marketing way, that's all scripted, and that falls under the copywriting category, and you can make a lot of money doing that. In fact, copywriters are in higher demand than ever because people are really looking to bolster up and boost up their online presence, especially online marketers. And these people don't have the time, or in some cases, the skill sets to do their own copywriting for themselves. Most of the time, it's just that they don't have the time. They would rather hire somebody to do these things for them so that they could focus on their businesses. And that's why servicing anything in the freelancer category, when you're targeting businesses, you're always going to do much better than if you're trying to target individuals. So the types of people that are always looking for copywriters, just like yourself, are online marketers, brick and mortar businesses, even local yokel businesses, who may or may not have an online presence, but they still need to do marketing, nonprofit organizations, that's also a huge one as well. So to write powerful sales copy, what you need to know is you're going to be doing certain types of pieces. Like, for example, you'll be focusing maybe on direct mail marketing pieces, which include postcards, or what we call long form sales letters, which could be anywhere from a 4-page sales piece or a 12-page sales piece. In some cases, a 36-page sales piece, and you'll be getting paid thousands of dollars per page, by the way. So if you're thinking, oh, 36 pages, that seems like forever and I'll never be able to write that. Well, think again, because I do have a hack to make this work happen really, really quick, even if you have limited skills. But also 36 pages, that means if you're getting paid $1,000+ per page, that means that sales piece could potentially make you $36,000. So the longer the sales piece, the better for you. Display ads, this would be full page ads or half page ads in magazines and newspapers. That also falls under the copywriting category. Website copy, as we talked about, video sales letter scripts, as we talked about, even phone sales scripts. So people that do any kind of booked phone calls, especially with regard to online marketers, there are a ton of them that are looking for people to do phone sales scripts for their workforce, for their sales force, that answer the phone and do booked sales calls. And the better the sales script, the better. And of course, obviously, there are templates for this so that you don't have to come up from scratch on any of these things. You can actually pull from what we call our swipe file, where you can gain access to all of these different sales pieces that have really done well over the years, and you can literally emulate the copy by just changing some things and tweaking some things here and there, and you create a brand new piece that's tailor-made for your client, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel at all. And we'll be sharing with you exactly how that's possible. Email campaigns is a huge one, whether it's a brick and mortar business or an online marketer. Everybody seems to be using email campaigns these days. And so new and old marketers are looking for fresh new emails that they can use to promote their products and services. And of course, newsletters, this is not as big, but there are people that want to provide newsletters so that it doesn't always look like salesy content coming out, that it looks like they're offering something of value to people. And so these are kind of disguised as a marketing tool. And so there's a lot of companies now that are going the newsletter route, where they're looking for people to create the content of the newsletter, and then in the newsletter they kind of sneak different marketing and sales strategies in there to kind of push people into some of the products and services that they have. But newsletters is a big one, and it's something that's gaining traction more and more as the years go on. So here are some real success stories that you might be impressed with. So take Sueli. She earns on average between $750 and $1,200 per week, sometimes more, but that's the average. And she was wasting a lot of time with doing book publishing projects, especially when it came to Amazon, mostly nonfiction books. I think recently she did a children's book, but none of it ever made any money for her. And so she was done spinning her wheels with yet again another business opportunity that didn't work, and she decided to try this, and she's doing exceptionally well. No, she's not making millions of dollars. This business is probably not going to make you millions of dollars, but if you're looking for something that can make you an extra few hundred to a few $1,000s or more per week, then this is definitely the opportunity for you. And this proves that even busy stay-at-home moms can do this business as a part-time side hustle. Or take TJ, he earns an average of $1,500 per week, and all he does is he writes headlines. He doesn't even write ad copy. He doesn't do anything outside of headlines, and that's what he specializes in, and he does really, really well just specializing in the one thing instead of just focusing on the body copy of a sales piece. He just focuses on headlines, and he's doing really, really well. And that proves that even those with limited writing skills can also do this business as well. Or take Steven, and he does really, really well with this. He earns on average about $3,000 per week, sometimes more. And he used to be a manager, and he hated his job, but he was always looking for a different business opportunity. He's fallen victim to many, many different opportunities. Many of them were scams. And he finally found this copywriting opportunity. He was extremely skeptical, but he decided to jump in and do it. Took him 6 weeks to finish his certificate. And once he finished his certificate, he started getting jobs, and he makes on average about $3,000 per week. And he started earning that within a couple of weeks after completing his certification. And that proves that even people who want to replace their full-time incomes can do this. So he started doing this for about an hour a day, and then he ramped it up, and then eventually he cut back to part-time at his job, and then eventually he ended up quitting his job to pursue copywriting full-time. Or you could take Colleen. She earns on average about $2,700 per week with her copywriting business. She too had also gone through the gamut on different online opportunities. Nothing worked for her. So she ended up getting her real estate license to have what, quote unquote, a real career. And it turned out to be a complete bomb for her because it just took a lot of hours, a lot of hustling for years. And she ended up not really doing very well. She made about roughly $70,000 in commissions in 2 full hard years of work, working about 60 plus hours a week doing the business. And she didn't want to do it anymore. She knew that there had to be a better way. She always wanted to be a writer. So she decided to jump feet first into this opportunity. And now she makes a ton of money in this business. In fact, she made that $70,000 within their first 6 months as a copywriter once she earned her certification. So she's doing extremely well. She's on fire with this. And this proves that those who want to eliminate their careers that demand too many hours to trade that into work part-time while earning a full-time income, they too can do that, and that includes you as well. Or take Jasper. He's a senior, and he realized that he needed some extra side hustle income. So he decided to jump into this opportunity doing copywriting. He absolutely loves it. He does really, really well. He was very apprehensive in the beginning because he didn't feel like he had the skill set to be a writer, but he really did take to this, like a fish to water. Like he did really, really well, and he loved it. He found that it was challenging, but yet it was fun, and he did extremely well. And that just proves that seniors and those unable to physically work can actually do this business as well. And so, yes, you can actually earn anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 per week as a high in-demand freelance copywriter. And I'm going to share with you in this presentation exactly how that's possible, including a brief demonstration on how you can use what I call my cheat code or a hack to drum out this endless amounts of copy to your clientele as much as and fast as possible so that you can get paid a lot quicker and do more jobs. So on this training today, you're going to discover why most people who do gigs in our new gig economy end up making less than minimum wage, and how you can earn 10 times more minimum per assignment by understanding this one single freelance secret, which I'm going to share with you. And I'm going to also share with you the real reason why writing is so difficult and intimidating for most people. And I'm going to share with you the cheat code easy button to writing highly profitable copy in just a few minutes per day that your clients will rave about, and they'll keep them coming back for more. Why 99% of copywriting courses and writing correspondence schools are total BS, never meant to help you make any real money as a copywriter, and how we can directly help you get high-paying jobs like no other company in existence today. So I'm going to share with you all of this and more in this training right now. So most importantly, you'll also discover the precise blueprint for highly paid copywriting success that you could start using right away after today. So what makes this different? This is the first all-inclusive freelance opportunity where you, upon finishing our completed training and practice assignments, are guaranteed to get jobs through our company and via our already established clientele, potentially worth $125,000 or more to you in the next 12 months. That's once you earn your certification after going through the course for 6 weeks. So who am I and how can I change your entire financial future? Well, my name is Monica Main. There I am standing next to Dan Kennedy. I worked under him for about 2 years when I was part of his highest level titanium group, and I have studied under him for decades. He was probably one of the first people that introduced me to copywriting. Then, of course, I learned from many of the other greats like Gary Halbert and many others that I've read books about, I've studied deeply, and I've become a highly qualified copywriter over the years, mostly as my own marketer, marketing my own products and services, and of course taking on clientele here and there when I have the time and the opportunity. So here's what I've been able to do over the years. I'm one of the top copywriters in the entire country, trained directly by top copywriters including Dan Kennedy, Doberman Dan, who is a direct protege of Gary Halbert. I have extensive direct mail marketing experience over the last 30 years, having sold hundreds of millions of dollars in products through both direct mail marketing and online marketing strategies. I've built several multi-million-dollar companies from scratch, starting with only a few $100s each and every time. And I have thousands of students just like you who have been successful with the strategies I teach, because I'm the only one out there who will give you what I call the nuts and bolts training that you need to know to be successful, while others will give you just a vague do-it-yourself set of plans. And that's not what you want, because you need to be very precise. You need to hit the bullseye with this, and you need the plans, the blueprint to get you there, and I can give that to you. So here I am, accepting my $10 million funnel hacking award. And this was just from one particular product line in one funnel. And this was one of my multi-million-dollar companies that have sold tens of millions of dollars of product sales. And for no other reason other than me having profitable copywriting skills. That's the only reason why I was able to earn this award and to be able to make the amount of money that I have been is all in copywriting. If I did not know how to do copywriting and I have not learned from the greats over the years, I would never have been able to get to this point in my business. So this is the same set of businesses that I have that I'm currently actively seeking new hot copywriters for. So yes, I run several businesses, and yes, I'm still looking for new hot copywriters to hire for my businesses. And this includes people like you as well. So being a top-notch copywriter and marketer has given me the ultimate financial freedom in my life, and it can definitely do the same for you without spending decades in this very harsh, very steep learning curve that you typically would have in this craft of copywriting, as I have, because it took me decades to learn it to this degree. But I'm going to share with you exactly the quick and easy route. I'm going to give you the easy button so that you don't have to spend 30 years learning the craft as I have. So here's the cold, hard truth. Nobody's ever going to give you the real secret to freelance copywriting profits, but I'm going to show you exactly how the real secret works in a way that nobody else will ever share with you. And I'm going to do this in this presentation. So why specifically copywriting? Why not some other kind of freelancer opportunity? Well, it's in high demand right now. It pays extremely well for each assignment when you specialize in the right writing assignments, because you're going to be targeting business owners, and business owners are willing to pay top dollar because they don't have time to be doing this. They don't have time to take the learning curve. They don't have time to do all the hacks and shortcuts and strategies I'm going to be sharing with you. They just don't have time, and they don't have the interest. They want to focus on their business, and they will hire, they'll throw bunches of money at somebody else just to do it and do it well for them. So the assignments can take anywhere from a few minutes to a few hours per assignment, depending on the type of assignment it is, allowing you to set your own schedule. You can work till midnight if you want, or 2 in the morning if you want. You could do whatever you want with this business because you literally set your own schedule and you work when you want and you take time off when you want. You could choose to earn as little as you want or as much as you want, depending on how many assignments you want to take on. So it literally has the flexibility that you need. If you only want to make a couple $100 extra a week, then you take only a couple extra assignments a week, or one extra assignment a week. If you want to make thousands of dollars per week, then you basically up the ante. You scale more and you do more work and you get paid more. That's very simple. Now, a misnomer of this, and people that think that they need to be writers to be a copywriter, that's not true. You don't have to be a writer in the traditional sense, because copywriting, even though it has the word writer in there, it really is more of a marketing play. It's not a writing play. Writing, to me, when you describe a writer as somebody that maybe is a novelist or maybe does technical writing or grant writing or something like that, where it's more of a long form educational or entertainment purpose behind it. But copywriting is completely different. Like I said, it has the word writer in there, but it's more of a marketing and sales play. And so it's completely different the way it's set up. In fact, you don't even need to be good at English to excel in this business. And I'm going to share with you some of the hacks on why this is. So take one of the highest paid copywriters who worked for Agora for many years. He gets paid millions of dollars per year. He doesn't speak perfect English. In fact, he was born in Brazil, speaks Portuguese, and even to this day still has challenges with English. His name is Alvaro Albuquerque. In fact, he wrote this amazing book, probably one of the best books on copywriting on the planet. And it's a very short book, by the way. And so he's probably one of the most successful copywriters today, right now, is a guy who does not have English in his vocabulary as his first language. So if you do, then you have definitely a benefit. Now take Jason Reed. He's one of our most successful copywriting students. This is a man we trained. He currently lives in Florida. He earns approximately $1 million per year as a copywriter, give or take, depending on how much time he wants to put into it. But he really loves this because it gives him this new sense of purpose, and that's what he really needed, especially when he had a tragic accident in his life. I'm not going to go into detail, but he ended up losing his daughter and her husband in a horrific car accident. And so he didn't have purpose for a long time except for taking care of her kids or his grandkids. And so he really felt like he had to throw himself into something else, and he decided to do this. And it turned out he started to excel in it to the point where he was making money hand over fist, and it just gave him his new sense of purpose, his new sense of future vision for himself, even as a senior. And so he even wrote a book for us called How I Make $1 Million Per Year as a Copywriter. And it actually has businesses and companies in there listed, their contact information, who are people that are actually hiring right now and looking for copywriters. These are people that he's actually worked for. And I will share with you how you can actually get a copy of this book as we move along in this presentation. So it's a powerful book. It's an amazing book. It's well written, and you're absolutely going to love it. So if he can do it, I can guarantee you absolutely anybody can do it, because he had every adversity stacked against him. And he was able to use this as kind of a crutch to not only pull himself out of a really bad, depressing time in his life, but also to propel himself ahead and to earn an exceptional living doing this. Now, you might not make $1 million a year. In fact, likely you're probably not going to. But, I mean, even if you make 10% of that, you know, you're looking at $100,000 per year, and that's pretty good. So I think working part-time, making $100,000 is a damn good income. I don't know if you agree or not, but, you know, if you're only making, you know, working about 3 hours a day maximum, in most cases, maybe 2 hours a day. And that includes, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe take Thursday off, maybe take Friday off, and then work Saturday. So you're working about 4 hours a week. And if you're willing to, you know, work about 4 days a week, I should say, rather, about 2 to 3 hours maximum per day, you can earn about $100,000 to $125,000 per year doing this. So obviously, if you double that, you can earn about $250,000 per year, which might be more than what you're making right now at your current job or business. Especially since what's really cool about this, and a lot of people ask me about AI, and you know, in the beginning when AI first came out, I was just very opposed to it. But now I've done a 180 on AI, and I absolutely love it. I have used it for everything. It gets more and more refined with every passing month. And so what's cool about it is if you know how to use AI, it could show you and help you to turn out endless amounts of projects to earn as much as you want. So that means that you're not limited to the amount of projects you can take. You could literally take 10, 20 projects a week and crank them out in a quarter of the time when you do have help of AI or artificial intelligence. It's pretty cool. So more on AI in a minute. But first, something you should know about copywriting, and that is, when you consider any other money-making opportunities, especially since I'm sure you've already gone through looking at different opportunities out there, you have to understand these things. There's a steep learning curve to learn pretty much everything out there, but not with copywriting, believe it or not. You don't have to go through the steep learning curve that I had to go through over the last 30 plus years, because there was no AI. There was no emulation. There was nobody to even train me on how to do it except for the people at the top, and they never sat me down and fully trained me. I had to just kind of follow how they wrote and emulate what they wrote and just kind of learn the trade on my own. But you don't have to do all that, because I'm going to share with you some hacks and some shortcuts on how you can churn out as much copy as you possibly can to get paid quick and to get paid high dollars. There's usually a steep investment to get started with most other opportunities, but not with copywriting. You don't have to have a huge, steep investment to get started, because it is a service, and you're not, you know, buying products and reselling them online or anything that you need a lot of money for. It's actually relatively cheap to get started in this business. Other businesses, there's a steep setup period, including all the techie stuff. So if you're trying to start an online business or a Shopify store or something like that, you're going to be spending some money on all the technical stuff, or learning all the technical stuff on your own. And a lot of people just peter out, and they just don't want to continue moving forward because they get just so bogged down with all the technical details that they just stop putting any time into building out their store or their stuff online, or they hire somebody else to do it and it costs them. I mean, there was this one lady, I couldn't believe it. She told me she spent $90,000 for somebody to set up a Shopify store for her. It was just mind-blowing to me that she even had $90,000 to spend on a store, and then they never set up the store correctly. They never even followed through with it. She was actually in the process of thinking about filing a lawsuit the last time I heard from her. But that's what you have to pay. I mean, probably not $90,000, but you have to pay a stiff amount of money if you want to have somebody do all the techie stuff for you. Also other opportunities, many of them take way too long to start making money. Some of them months, some of them years. And so if you're looking for a way to make money now, like in the next few weeks or so, or in the next couple months, then copywriting is for you, because copywriting, once you earn your certification, which takes about 6 weeks to do, and you think in terms of the comparison to a 4-year degree or any other kind of correspondence type of school, which takes several months, 6 weeks is nothing. That's a drop in the bucket. And you can get the skill set that you need to start making, thousands of dollars per week in this business. You can start making that kind of money right away. In other opportunities, there's way too much competition, way too many people doing that, but not with copywriting, because a lot of people have gone off into what I call the gold rush of the shiny object, which is usually some kind of online store or some kind of razzle-dazzle online business. And so they go off onto the next shiny object, and then they abandon some of the true blue, tested and proven money-making secrets out there. And one of those is becoming a copywriting freelancer. With other opportunities, there's way too much financial risk. Say, for example, you wanted to invest in stocks. I mean, you're investing everything maybe you have, or maybe you're investing your savings and you can lose it all within a couple hours in a bad trade. Or if you sink that $90,000 in like that lady did with the Shopify store, and it turned out that they ended up screwing her over completely and didn't give her the store that she wanted. And even if they did give her the store, then she needed to learn how to own and operate it and run it and send stuff out and learn the entire infrastructure. I mean, it's just too much financial risk, too much time, too much effort. And if you're not a business person and a trained entrepreneur, you're not going to know what to do, and you're probably going to end up losing the business anyway, even if it was set up correctly, and many times they're not. There's too much responsibility, stress, and headaches. I mean, you have employees, insurances, you need a warehouse, you need all these different things with most other businesses. And it's just too much stress. And even if you're thinking, okay, well, Monica, what if I did want to become a day trader and I didn't have a warehouse or employees or, insurance obligations? Okay, but think about the stress of trading the markets and the ups and downs. If you wanted to be a day trader, I couldn't handle that. I used to do day trading years ago, did really well, actually. But I couldn't handle it for long periods of time because I am too high strung. I'm a type A personality, and it's just very difficult for me to just sit there and think about the moments that I'm losing money, or think about the moments that I will be losing money if I'm not losing money. And it's just too stressful for me. So, everything else that I noticed out there as far as business opportunities, even the ones that are supposed to be perfect, where you can work at home and work on your own clock and do, what you want to do, there's always some stress element or headache element to it that just makes it not worthwhile. But that does not apply to copywriting, because copywriting is virtually stress-free. There are no headaches. The only headache you have, which if you want to even call it that, is just cranking out your projects to your clients. And for me, that's fun. I love the writing process. I love using AI. I love using emulation. I love tweaking stuff. I think it's fun. It's fun for me. I like it. So, if you think that sounds like something that's up your alley, then this definitely can be the business for you, and a highly profitable one at that. So take, for example, a simple online business. So if you're thinking, okay, well, Monica, I don't know about the service thing. I don't know about copywriting. I don't really know a lot. So most people now are going with the simple online business that's too good to pass up. So if you think about it, what's simple about it? Well, first of all, you have to figure out what is selling out there, what's not too competitive, something that is in high demand that you can make enough money and enough profit from that everybody and their mom isn't already doing. And how do you figure that out? Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to do a bunch of testing, which takes a lot of money and time and effort, not to mention all the techie elements that you need to know just to be able to get all these online funnels and websites up, to test out all these different products and services, to find one finally, which might take 10 or 20 different tries of something that could finally make money. And most people are just not in it for the long haul. And most people can't even do the technical components just to set up one website, let alone multiple websites to do all these testing for these different products and services. And that includes the email sequences, the follow-up sequences, all these different elements for each one of those products and services you want to test out. You have to set up this entire thing like separate businesses altogether. You also have to know how to place ads, because you can't just leave your website out there floating around in cyberspace thinking that just people are just going to wake up one day and find it. You have to advertise on Facebook, YouTube video ads, Google ads, Yahoo, maybe even offline marketing like direct mail marketing, maybe newspaper, magazine ads, because you can get a deal on those nowadays because nobody else is placing ads in that way anymore. But you have to spend money. And not only do you have to spend money, which maybe you don't have, but you also have to have the skill set to be able to know how to place those ads, what kind of call to action to have, what you're advertising in those advertisements. And if you don't know, then you're going to fail. You have to be willing and able to spend lots and lots of money to get your businesses marketed and exposed. And you have to be able to deliver the product or service, deal with customer service issues, employees, refunds, complaints, online haters. You'll maybe even have to rent a warehouse if you're dealing with products that, is a high volume, high shipping business. It's just a lot. I've already been there, done that with a lot of these quote unquote simple businesses that never turn out to be simple at all because it ends up being a massive mad headache. And then, of course, at the end of the day, you have to cross your fingers and pray that you make money since competition is fierce out there. I mean, take a look at Amazon stores. I mean, people thought it was such a great idea to buy pallets of stuff from, places like China and then turn around and sell these electronics online or whatever they're selling. And it turns out that they're able to make barely any money, barely, because there's so much competition, because anybody can go to Alibaba.com or MadeInChina.com and find these different products at wholesale, buy a pallet of them, and turn around and sell it on Amazon. Like, everybody figured that big secret out, which means now that it's very difficult, if not next to impossible, for you to make money doing that. And don't do it. Don't do it because, life is too short. Things are changing so fast. You don't want to be in this kind of business. Trust me, I've been there, done that several times, and you cannot pay me enough money to go into one of these quote unquote simple online businesses ever again, because they're never simple. They're never simple. And that's with my skill set, my loaded skill set. I have a ton of experience of entrepreneurship behind me, and I wouldn't even do it because I know how hard it is. And yes, I have a much higher success rate possibility than most people getting started in this. And I still wouldn't do it because it's too much work. And there's too many things that can fall through the cracks and too many ways to fall into a cesspool of failure. And I don't want to do that for myself. Life is too short. So whether it's a simple online business or a run-of-the-mill typical business, whether that's a brick and mortar business, like if you want to start, an insurance office or something like that, no matter which way you slice it, having a regular business of any kind totally sucks. It just totally sucks. It'll suck the life out of you, by the way. So when most people start a business, they don't have any idea what kinds of products or services to sell that'll have even a remote shot of making any profits for them. They don't even consider how many units of a product they need to sell to make their monthly gross and net profit target. Case in point, a couple years ago, I moved from California, and there was this place that opened up. It was called Milkshake Mania. And I was trying to explain to my daughter, who from a very young age, I would talk about different business, money, and entrepreneurial types of things with her, so that she was raised in that kind of environment and knew things that most people are not raised with. And I told her, I'm like, over and under, I think that this business will last less than 6 months, because what people don't understand is that the rent alone on that unit was well over $5,000 a month. It might have been more like $7,500 a month for that little unit, which was about 1,000 square feet. And how many milkshakes you have to sell just to cover your rent. I mean, like, pull out a calculator and figure it out. You have to sell a lot of units of milkshakes, say at $5 a crack, just to make your rent. Not including insurance, not including employees, not including equipment costs, not including your inventory costs, not including, your utility costs. There's so many different costs in running a business, and yet people don't even whip out a simple calculator to figure out how many milkshakes they have to sell just to make rent and nothing else. It's a lot of units. I mean, I'll figure it out right now for you, because this is something that you need to learn and that you need to understand next time you have this brilliant idea of trying to start some kind of business like that. You have to sell 1,500 milkshakes per month just to make rent on a $7,500 per month unit, and that's $1,500 a month. So that means $30. So basically every single day you have to sell at least 50 $5 milkshakes. Of course, you'll have other things maybe in your store, but 50 a day to cover just your rent. And again, people don't even whip out a simple calculator, and it's not your fault. The stuff is purposely hidden from you, and you're not trained to think like this. Think like an entrepreneur, which is why most people fail. So fast forward to today. I moved to Panama City Beach, Florida a couple years ago. And I thought it was the funniest thing. There's another milkshake place going into this little strip mall. Same setup, about 1,000 square feet. And I'm like, over and under, how long is it going to take for them to go to business? Well, I think it might take a little longer than maybe a few months, maybe 6 months, because rent is cheaper here, just slightly though. But it's going to be a matter of time before they're out of business, because again, they never took the time to do a calculator assessment to figure out how many milkshakes that they have to sell per day, per week, per month, just to make rent. And then they would quickly realize, before they think that this brilliant idea is going to make them rich, they have to quickly realize that it's just not a viable business opportunity. Way too much work, way too much stress. And then even if you do make double what you have in rent, at the end of the day, you have no profits. You're never going to get rich owning a milkshake shack. You're just never going to get rich that way. But most people don't think that way because they've never been taught to think that way. And then they get into a headache business that ultimately causes financial stress, strife, and bankruptcy. Why do it at all? It's completely pointless. Most people have no earthly idea how to sell a product or a service through a tested and proven sales and marketing plan. Most people have no idea how costly it is to start a business, even a low-cost home-based service or consulting business. It costs a lot of money. Most people have no end game in mind when starting a business of any kind of long-term operations, a profit plan, management plan. They have no idea how any of this works. Because let's face it, starting a business is hard and has a very, very high failure rate. So why bother with any of it all when there is another way? So what about other enticing opportunities? Maybe like trading the markets, for example. Well, do you really want to sit in front of a computer screen for hours and hours per day, probably starting really early in the morning, just to end up potentially losing everything in just a few minutes with one bad trade? I don't. That's too stressful for me. Or take real estate investing. Do you really want to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for a down payment just to be able to deal with headache tenants? Like, say, for example, you want to buy a small apartment building. Do you really want to, hit everybody up that for, say, $250,000 for a down payment? By the way, you also need good credit to do that. Just to deal with a bunch of people that you just don't want to manage. You probably don't want to do that. Or worse, buying a property that is a fixer-upper property, having to do a bunch of rehab just to make maybe a few bucks. I remember I was watching, this was just the other day, one of those flipper rehab shows. And there was a couple ladies that were doing some kind of rehab job on a house. And it turned out that they were only going to make $20,000 in profits, and they had to split it because it was a partnership. So one lady was going to make $10,000, the other one lady was going to make another $10,000. I'm like, you're spending about 45 days and doing all this headache and all this work, and you're each only making $10,000. That's not worth it. All that work for $10,000 over the course of a 45-day period. And that's if they're able to sell it. They're just assuming that they're going to sell it. Who knows if they even will, right? Not worth it. Take selling on Amazon. Do you really want to compete with millions of other sellers on Amazon, including publishing Amazon Kindle books, just to be lucky to make a few cents on each sale if you don't actually end up losing your ass instead? I triple don't think that you want to do that, okay? This is why freelancing is the best opportunity out there right now, because you get the benefit of making incredible profits on your schedule, on your timetable, without needing a bunch of money to start, a steep learning curve to figure out the business, without learning a bunch of techie stuff, without putting in, that higher risk level, without any competition, and without that stress. Nobody wants stress anymore. Life's too short for that. I'd like to share with you a few secrets about how you can earn about $125,000 to $250,000 per year like clockwork with a little-known high-in-demand business as a freelance copywriter. You ready to get into the woods, the nitty-gritty on this? I hope so, because I'm going to share with you a lot of stuff. So I have 3 secrets for you right now. And secret number 1 is why most people make peanuts doing gigs, and how you can get the big bucks even when you're first getting started in this business. Secret number 2 is how you could pack in 30 years of copywriting, my experience, put that under your belt by emulating success and getting paid top dollar for it. And secret number 3 is how you can get high-paying clients in just a few weeks, even if you know absolutely nothing about copywriting, you're not good at English, or you don't even have any writing skill set to think of, okay? So here's secret number 1. Why most people make peanuts doing gigs and how you can get paid top dollar even when you're first getting started in this business. So most gigs pay almost nothing. On places like Fiverr.com, getting paid gigs is nothing more than a race to the bottom on certain gigs, okay? Not all of them. There are gigs that pay thousands of dollars, and so you have to learn what you have to do to set yourself apart from the people that are getting paid $50 for something versus people that are getting paid thousands of dollars for each project. Many copywriter gigs don't pay any money. Competing with all those other low-paying professionals, especially those that are in places like Cambodia or the Philippines or some place where they're willing to take $5 for something, you know, people in the business world are looking for people who are in the United States or in North America, preferably, or they're English-speaking individuals, like English is their first language. So there are a lot of people, especially business owners, who will only go to the Fiverr searches only looking for people that are English-speaking in the United States or in North America. Or if you're in the UK, they'll specifically look for people in the UK, and they will purposely avoid people that are in foreign countries because they don't want to deal with, you know, slapped together, haphazard English skills that don't make any sense. And so that's how you're able to make much more money than a lot of other people on places like Fiverr or Guru.com, because you are in an English-speaking country and you are in the United States or another North American country, or in the UK, if you're going to specialize in the UK, or in Australia, wherever you're at, that's English-speaking. And business owners will seek out people in their own country. Now, you might even be a Spanish speaker, and if that's the case, then that's double demand for you, because there are a lot of people that are English speaking who want to convert some of their copy to Spanish speaking, but they don't speak Spanish. They want to set up a whole website and all these marketing materials in Spanish, and if you know Spanish well, that's another way to double your income, because there are people that are looking for copywriters in Spanish too, and they simply don't have the skill set to be able to create that. Or you might know a different language. Maybe you know Italian or Portuguese or French or something else. And if you know another language, then that doubles your earning capacity, because there are certain countries who are looking for top-notch copywriters. They just don't exist in those countries at all. And you can definitely one-up the entire system by being that person that they can't find. So did you know that every business, entrepreneur, salesperson, and marketer is in great need for one thing? They are all in need of copywriters to write sales copies for their website, sales letters, brochures, presentations, email campaigns, video scripts, and even their phone sales scripts. They need copywriters for this. And no, they're not doing the same hacks that you're doing. They're not emulating other people's copy. They're not using AI. They're not sitting down at the computer to do any of this, because they are trying to run a successful business. Business owners want to delegate, okay? Because the top business owners in the world delegate. They don't sit there and try to do it themselves. I always have people ask me, well, you know, if they know all these secrets, Monica, they could be doing all this stuff themselves. If they knew about AI and how to, you know, create hacks like that, they'll do it themselves. No, there are a lot of business owners who don't want to do it themselves, including myself. There's a lot of things that I will simply delegate out because I don't have the time or the interest in setting up the entire project, whereas I can have somebody else do the entire project for me, and I could focus on something else. So you'll find that most entrepreneurs not only will pay you top dollar, but they're not willing to do it themselves. They are eagerly wanting to hire you for these jobs, okay? So as you can make a fortune as a high in-demand copywriter, you just simply have to understand two things. Number one, you want to understand excuse me, how to write copy that sells like hotcakes, even when using AI to help you. And you also, number two, want to understand how to get an endless stream of high-paying clients, because if you can't do one, then you'll never have a successful business. So for example, if you know how to write copy that sells like hotcakes, but you can't get any clients, you're not going to make any money. But if you can figure out how to get clients, but you don't know how to write your way out of a paper bag, or figure out how to lay down the copy in a print-ready form, then you're also not going to be successful. So you need to have both. If you don't have both, you're never going to be a successful copywriter freelancer, okay? So secret number two is you can actually pack my 30 years of copywriting experience that I have under my belt by simply emulating not only the copywriting success that I've had, but I've also gotten paid top dollar for, but also to learn hacks, not only with emulation, but also using emulation and AI at the same time. And I'm going to give you a demonstration very shortly on how this works. So I was talking to you about Dan Kennedy. I've known him for many, many years. It cost me decades of my life and tens of thousands of dollars to get top-notch copywriting and marketing training from people like Dan Kennedy. And with this vast knowledge base, coupled with the in the trenches business experience that I have, that I've used my own copy and my own direct mail marketing campaigns, my own newspaper and magazine ads, my own online marketing and so forth, I've used my own marketing, okay? You saw the award that I've gotten. I've gotten many, many others on top of that, making tens of millions of dollars in product sales because of the copywriting, okay? And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do all of that, okay? Because we have AI now. We have emulation. Emulation basically means you take something called a swipe file of some of the best and hottest pieces of copy that have been developed over the years that have made tons of money, and you basically repackage it using AI into a different marketing format. So for example, you might have a full-page sales letter, or full-page ad rather, that actually pulled really, really well, made millions of dollars, and this was maybe 10 years ago, and they don't run the ad anymore. And you can run that ad through AI for a different product, and you can create a completely different sales piece that's like the one that did really well, that made millions of dollars, but created a completely different sales piece with the same vibe for a different product. And that's the hack that I'm telling you about. These are hacks that didn't even exist when I first started copywriting that I really do embrace now. Like I said, a couple years ago, I'm like, nah, I was really anti-ChatGPT and all that. But now I just love the power of it because it's gotten so refined over the years that it's really now becoming a useful tool, and it's only going to get better as time goes on. So high-paying clients do not want an inexperienced copywriter. They don't want to waste their time because ad campaigns cost a fortune, and established businesses and marketing clients want top-notch copywriting. They don't want to know that you just started doing this 3 or 4 weeks ago. And you're never going to tell them that, of course, because you're going to have something called a portfolio, which you're going to be creating in the group. I'm going to show you how to create a portfolio of your work so that you could showcase that you know how to do this and that you know how to do it well. And creating a portfolio, by the way, is very easy to do. So you can actually literally use my 30+ years of experience, including emulating pieces of my own portfolio, to catapult your way to success. And you can do this in only 6 weeks. It's pretty powerful. So right now, you think about it, it's like, okay, well, I could read a couple books on copywriting. I could figure this out myself, right? I can go to Amazon. I can get some $10 books on copywriting. I can practice, write. Copy some of the greats, including memorizing some of their best sales pieces over time. I like Gary Halbert. He's my go-to guy when it comes to emulation. I can attend several copywriting clinics and seminar events and really learn how to do this and spend years and years and years learning copywriting, which is what I did, because back in the day, that was the only option that we had. Or you could take the shortcut. You could discover a very simple test and improvement 1, 2, 3 formula, use a copywriting success template. Yes, I have a success template that you could use for all your sales pieces and scripts. You can learn how to write quick and passionate copy using a strategy for what we call emotional fodder, because your pieces have to grab people emotionally if they're going to be successful. Find high-paying copywriting clients within 60 days or less, and you could then shave years and years off the process of becoming a proficient and lucrative copywriter so that you can start making money fast. Now, the left side is not the recommended route to take. Obviously, you want to take the shortcut route, the easy button route, which I'm going to share with you exactly how that works in a moment. So what copywriting can do for you is it can give you something called true financial freedom, or it can give you a highly paid job, depending on which way you want to play this. Now, obviously, we don't want the high-paying job. We don't want to be working 60 hours a week doing this. We want to find the quickest, fastest, and easiest way to do this business, because we don't want to create another job for ourselves. We certainly don't want the typical business with 60 to 80 hours per week in a work schedule, dips in cash flow and profits, creating debt, lots of stress and sleepless nights. We don't want a business like that. We don't want a job like that. We don't want to take no vacations for at least 3 to 5 years. What I like about copywriting, by the way, is that there's been many times where I've gone on vacation and I've done a couple 2 to 3 hours of copywriting over the course of, a week or two when I'm gone, and I'm still making money while I'm enjoying the beach. Because as long as I have my laptop, I am on vacation, but I'm also working. And you can do the same as well, or you can just take the whole 1 to 2 weeks off. But the cool thing is you do have that flexibility because you don't have the same kind of overhead, the same kind of stress, strife, and headaches that you have with a typical business or a job. You could literally take your laptop and off you go to Bora Bora, and you can complete assignments for your clients while you're on vacation, which is what I love. So what I'm going to do is allow you to be able to ride on my coattails to learn exactly how this entire business works, learn all the hacks so you don't have to spend 30 years learning exactly how copywriting works, profitable copywriting, and start getting paid a lot of money from high-paying clientele within 6 weeks. So essentially, I'm going to be giving you a crash course on how to become a talented copywriter in only 6 weeks, and you'll be given assignments that you could get paid for after the 6 weeks, after you earn your certification. So how does this work? Well, I have lots of assignments within our office that need to be written now. Not only do I have several businesses that need copy for sales letters, websites, emails, sales pieces, sales video scripts, presentation scripts, and other stuff that I have established copywriting clients for whom I've served several years for, but I have a litany of other stuff. I have other types of writing that has to be done, including books, believe it or not. And so I'm constantly looking for talented copywriters, ghostwriters even, to help me finish these assignments, because I don't have enough hours in the day to write all the copy myself. So yes, I'm highly proficient at what I do, but I myself as a business owner don't have time to do all this. And yes, I do delegate just like other top entrepreneurs do as well. So I need your help, and I need it like yesterday. So here's the deal. You could plug into an already highly profitable copywriting business by being able to not only earn your certification in 6 weeks, but you could also start working for us and start doing these assignments and start getting paid once you get your certification after the 6-week course. So that brings me to secret number 3, how you can get high-paying clients in just a few weeks, even if you know nothing about copywriting. So how you could do this is you can get help from AI, and let me show you how. I'm going to give you a brief demonstration of exactly how you can use the power of AI as a hack, an easy button to be able to churn out endless amounts of really profitable copywriting pieces for your high-paying clients. So step number 1 is you want to get yourself a free account with ChatGPT at chatgpt.com. You want to go to step number 2, which is to use a prompt in the box on the screen to indicate what you want AI to create for you, including you can offer samples. I like to use samples, especially writing samples. So for example, I would say, please rewrite this Gary Halbert headline, but instead of it being about skincare, make it about a weight loss, pill or something, right? Just to give it a test run to see how it works. And then you give them this, you give it ChatGPT the sample of what you want, the headline to be, and then it'll convert it to some other type of headline that's like a Gary Halbert headline, but is applicable to the other product that you're going to be writing for your client. Step number 3 is you want AI to then create it, and then you can download it or copy and paste the final result and put it in, say, a Microsoft Word document. So take ChatGPT. This is what the prompt box looks like when you go to chatgpt.com, and you can literally type anything in there into the chat box and have ChatGPT create something for you. So what you could do is you could write a triple headline in Gary Halbert style to sell a weight loss pill that is made from a rare ingredient found in cactus in Africa, a secret that Hollywood celebrities use to drop pounds quick before an appearance or performance. So Gary Halbert was famous for what I call the triple headline. He never actually called it that. But over the years of me studying copywriting as closely as I have, I finally picked up on this triple headline strategy that Gary Halbert used, because Gary Halbert claimed that 100% of a sales piece was in the headline. And if you did not knock it out of the park with the headline, you lost that potential prospect or customer, because they won't read the rest of it. They will not read word 1 after the headline if you do not knock it out of the park with the headline. So he called the headline 100% importance in a sales piece. And so over the years, I started to notice that each one of his sales pieces had either 2 or 3 headlines at the top before it went into the sales piece, the body copy. So what I started to notice is that he would use 2 shots or 3 shots at the headline, knowing that it was 100% of the copy, to basically take his shots at getting the prospect interested in reading the rest of the piece. So I started calling it a triple headline, and it pays homage to Gary Halbert and his style of writing, because he used 2 to 3 shots or 2 to 3 headlines to try to pull people into the sales copy. So I like Gary Halbert's style. I think he's probably the best copywriter on the planet of all time ever, and that's my personal opinion, but that's what I believe. So I always use Gary Halbert's name in all of my ChatGPT prompts. So this is what ChatGPT produced. The shocking African cactus secret that melts belly fat like butter in a hot pan. I love that. I love the butter in a hot pan. Talk about descriptive, and talk about the fact that you probably wouldn't have been able to think of that yourself, which is why ChatGPT and having that kind of help from AI is so critical in you doing this quickly and doing it effectively. Why Hollywood celebrities swear by this rare slimming ingredient before every red carpet appearance, and how it can help you drop up to 19 pounds in 21 days without starving, working out, or giving up your favorite foods. So this looks like a double head to me, which is cool because, you know, it works. It's not a triple head, but it's a double head. That's fine. Because Gary Halbert also did a lot of double heads and not just triple heads. So we take that headline and we format it correctly. This is what we call making it print ready. So you basically copy that and you paste it into a Microsoft Word document, and you start to change the fonts and you start to change the layout and the spacing. And now you have something that looks like this. So you notice that the font is a italicized, I think it's bold. It's definitely Times New Roman. And the first headline is always smaller in size. The middle headline is always the one that's largest in size. And I like to use the impact font. And that's one of my favorites, by the way, for the middle headline. You see I changed the formatting of it. So this is part of your copywriting job. You have to not only churn out the copy, but you also have to lay it out correctly, and you have to make it something called print ready, because these marketers who are about to place this in a magazine or newspaper, or put this in an email, or put this on their website, or, you know, put it anywhere, they're not going to be able to, or they're not going to want to lay it out. That's not their job. Part of your job is to lay it out on the page to make it look like a sales presentation. Okay? The only exception to the rule is if you're writing, say, for example, a phone script for the sales team at a company, or if you're trying to write a video sales letter, you're not going to be laying it out in that way. But if you're laying out any other copy, you're going to have to lay it out in a way that is what we call print ready. Even if it's not going to be printed, maybe it's an email blast or whatever it is, it's still called print ready, which means it has to look aesthetically appealing, and you can't just whip a bunch of words on the page without the proper spacing, without the proper aesthetics. It has to be the way it is. I'm very strict about this, because this is where the rubber meets the road right here. This is where your success becomes apparent, especially when you're showcasing your portfolio of work. People who are entrepreneurs in the space, especially with online marketing, especially direct mail marketing, they're going to know right off the bat if you know what the hell you're doing, just simply based on how you aesthetically place it on the page. And we'll be sharing all of that and exactly how to make it print ready in this way in the 6-week group that you're going to be coming to in the next week or so, that you're going to be coming into. And so this is how I split it up, because ChatGPT didn't split it up as a triple head. So what I ended up having to do was add some additional data and information to the third part of it. So you can now see that I turned it into a triple headline, and I used a different font. I believe it was like Arial rounded or something like that for the third headline. The third headline is always the longest. It's a size between the second headline and the first headline in size, and usually all of these are centered. The only time that you wouldn't center one would be the top headline, which would maybe be flush left sometimes, but otherwise all of these are usually centered. When in doubt, just center it out, right? And so this is what we call print ready. You basically change the font, you change the aesthetics, you change the centering, you change the spacing, and now you have a headline. So you can't just whip together a bunch of stuff from ChatGPT, throw it up on a page on Microsoft Word, save the Microsoft Word document, and send it into your client. Because if you do that, you're never going to have any more clients, because they expect you to do it like this, especially if this is for a website, or if this is for a direct mail marketing campaign, or any kind of newspaper or magazine ad. They're going to expect you to lay it out and lay it out correctly, okay? So this triple headline, believe it or not, took 5 minutes. Actually took less than 5 minutes. So if you can imagine how many of these you can crank out, it's going to be pretty amazing on what you're able to do. So it took 5 minutes, and that was me tweaking it. It's not going to sound perfectly right when ChatGPT does it. Don't take ChatGPT at their word. Don't take every word for word that ChatGPT, pumps out at you. Sometimes you're going to change some words, and that's fine. You're going to say, that doesn't sound right, or I don't like that. So you can just either tell ChatGPT, hey, replace this word with this word, or that doesn't sound right, or I don't like the sentence that you say this and that. Can you come up with something else? And see what it comes up with. Or you might actually have to use your human brain and change some of the words and some of the phrases yourself, so then it actually sounds right. Because ChatGPT is still a computer It's not a human being yet, and it doesn't really understand fully how the culture works as far as how things are said and how things are conveyed. So you have to take that into account as well and use some of your human components to make it especially really emotional if you can, okay? So for some copywriters, it could take many, many years to learn these skill sets that I just showed you how you could do in less than 5 minutes. But you could, number one, piggyback off my decades of experience in copywriting. Number two, you could take tested and proven successful copy as what we call a treasure trove or a swipe file of the hottest copy by the top copywriters of all time that you could simply emulate. I mean, imagine actually taking a Gary Halbert headline, like I mentioned before, copying it and pasting it into ChatGPT and just saying, hey, use this headline, but make it into, a sales thing for some other offer. And you can basically do it that way as well. And number three, you want to use ChatGPT and other platforms as well to help you rewrite swipe file copy. Just doesn't have to be ChatGPT. You can use pseudo-write. There's many others. There's actually some for copywriting as well. Number four, you want to format the copy on the page depending on its end use. And your client is going to tell you what the end use is. They're going to say, well, it's got to fit on a magazine size 1 page, So obviously you can't turn in 3 pages. You're going to have to lay it out to fit there. Maybe do 3 or 4 columns. Maybe make sure that it looks like it belongs in a magazine that's print ready. This is the part that I call print ready. And many people that are coming into this as copywriters, I'm going to warn you in advance, many of them skip the whole print ready part. And this is why they decide that they're not going to want to do the business, because they don't find that putting the aesthetics into it and making it print ready is valuable. That is where, like I said, the rubber meets the financial road when it comes to this business, because anybody can use ChatGPT and anybody can pump out endless amounts of copy, but how you lay it out is where you're going to make all your money, okay? And then, of course, step 5 is getting paid. So if this is so easy, like I said before, why don't they just do this for their own businesses? And again, as I mentioned before, number one, they don't really even know how to use ChatGPT or swipe files to combine them together, as I just mentioned, to churn out hot copy. And most of them just simply don't have the time. They're running a business, they're managing staff, they're dealing with headaches, they're working too many hours. They would rather just delegate it out and wait for the result, okay, and have it done by a professional. And so even if they were able to figure out how to do all of this stuff with swipe files and ChatGPT combined to create new copy, they still don't have the skill set to lay it out properly. They need to lay it out on a page. Maybe they do need a full page magazine ad. Okay, well, unless they have some graphic design skill sets in their repertoire and this time to sit there and painstakingly lay it out aesthetically, they don't want to do that. And they just don't want to leave it up to chance. They'd rather have a professional do this for them. So meet John Gabriel. He attended one of my workshops on marketing years ago, and he pestered me about writing for my company. So I finally relented. He was actually one of my first to actually work for Success for Life, my company. And so I had to train him on my style of copy. And this took 8 months for me to do, because I didn't actually have a copywriting group. I didn't have any copywriting training or anything outside of the little spits and sputters that I did in some of my marketing events that I did over the years. And so I had to train him over time to learn my style of copy, which is the same as the Gary Halbert, Dan Kennedy-esque type of sales copy. And so after he completed his certificate, which took a long time because he was like ground zero person, he was like, copywriter zero for me. He was able to start earning about $750 to $1,000 per week within his first 60 days. Not mind-blowing money, but he was happy with it. And then, of course, he makes right now today about $22,000 per month. Okay? And he has consistently for the past 5 years. So that's how long he's been doing this with me for. He's doing extremely well, and he absolutely loves what he does. Now, mind you, he doesn't always write just for us. He also has a bunch of other clientele that he writes for consistently as well. And you're going to have clientele, like say 5 to 10 clients that are constantly hiring you over and over again, to the point where you're not even looking for new clients anymore, because you have the same people that just keep hiring you over and over again, and they just load you up with endless amounts of work. And as long as you keep pumping it out and pleasing them with the final product, they will constantly keep coming back to you, paying you more and more per assignment, because you could keep upping your rate. You could just say, hey, I'm charging more now because of, sorry, but the cost of living's higher, so we've just had to increase our service fee 10% or whatever, 20%. whatever the case may be, and you can keep, going up in your rate. And because they like working with you and they like the quality of the work and they're making money with your work because they're making money with the sales ads and marketing materials that you're creating, they're going to pay them more money. They're not going to want to go back out there and look for somebody else and test out like 10 people that might not work out. They don't have time for that. Okay, so once they latch on to you and you become their person for copywriting, they will never let you go. Okay, so how many of you would actually love to be making an extra $22,000 a month? That's definitely doable in this business. Okay, it's not far-fetched like you might think. It's definitely doable. So to get highly profitable copywriting businesses up and running, you need to be trained on highly effective and responsive copywriting skills, swipe files, using the combination of AI with the swipe files and AI combined. You also need to understand basic business setup requirements because you have to create a portfolio of work. You're going to be doing this as kind of a side business. You're not just going to be hired by people. You do have to treat this as a business. You also need to understand how to find clients quickly and easily. Ideally, getting those assignments that are going to pay you top dollar. You don't want the nickel and dime assignments that the people in Vietnam are doing for $5. You want to be able to get the ones that are hundreds, if not thousands of dollars each. And you can do that with my own specialty way of sharing with you exactly how to get those jobs. You also want to get paid per assignment and, if possible, royalties for some assignments on the back end for how much they sell in products and services based on your powerful copy. And then, of course, you need to understand how to submit your assignments and get paid, mainly and namely in the way that I was just sharing with you about making this print ready. This has to be print ready. So if you're going to try to do all this by yourself, good luck. Chances are you're going to fail because there's a lot that you need to understand about getting these kinds of clients. So what if I could take all the guesswork out of figuring out how to build a highly profitable writing and publishing business? Would that be of interest to you? Would you be interested in learning how this is possible for you? Well, I'm assuming the answer is yes. I hope it is. What if I can guarantee your success in a way that nobody else can? Would you be interested then? Well, I certainly hope so. What if I can guarantee that you'll have high-paying copywriting gigs after you get your 6-week certification? Would you want that opportunity? Well, I hope so. I think that that's probably why you're still here, right? What if I can work side by side with you until you get your successful writing and publishing business up and running and profiting? Would that be priceless to you? Well, the answer hopefully is yes. Okay. So can I share with you exactly how you could become my next writing and publishing success story? By the way, you're probably wondering why I'm mentioning publishing in there. Well, I kind of briefly slid it in there if you noticed. And that is, in addition to being a copywriter, you can also do book copy as well, or do books for some of your clients, which also includes, I guess you could say, the publishing category, where some of your clients are going to want sales books, like books that are maybe 60 to 100 pages long, and they're considered more of a sales and marketing book that they can use to help promote their products and services. And that kind of goes under the copywriting category, but also goes into the publishing book category as well. You can get paid a lot of money for those. So that's why I keep calling it publishing, but you can make a ton of money in both writing and publishing if you know how to do it. So here's what you're going to be doing to kickstart your copywriting freelancer career. You're going to start with my 6-week copywriting cash flow mentorship group, which values out at $4,997. And you're going to learn exactly what the shortcuts are, and using my 30+ years of copywriting and marketing and sales experience rolled up into one, pushed into 6 weeks to learn all the hacks that you need to know, namely emulating other people's highly successful copy and using AI to create different copy that you can now call your own, laying it out on the page aesthetically for your clientele and getting paid top dollar to do that service. And so, like I said, these business people don't have time for that. They don't have any interest for that. They simply want somebody else to do it all for them. And you can get paid a lot of money. I'm going to share with you exactly how to do it all, how to get these top paying clients, including how to work for our company as well after the 6-week certification period. So who's this going to work for? Well, person number one, somebody who's willing to follow through with all the instructions, including completing the assignments, okay? So you can't just go through the course and not complete the homework, because you're not going to get certified that way. Person number two, somebody who makes no excuses and just does it. If you know that this resonates with you and you feel like this is for you, this is the business you've been looking for, then you need to crack down on yourself, lay off the Netflix, watch all of the presentations, do the homework, don't dial it in, put every bit of effort you possibly can, and make no excuses. And you will be able to not only get certified in 6 weeks, but you'll start getting high paid assignments in 6 weeks as well. Person number 3 is somebody who has a burning desire to make tens of thousands of dollars per month in net profits. Not just a lukewarm tire kicker, not somebody who's lazy, not somebody who thinks that this is a get-rich-quick scheme without putting in any effort, because that's not the case here. You do have to have some kind of interest in copywriting, especially with the emulation and AI strategy that I briefly outlined for you. You have to have some interest in that. You have to have some interest in learning how to lay it out on the page and make it print ready and make it a final product for your client to get paid top dollar for it. So if you think that this is going to be some lazy dial it in thing, this is not for you, okay? Not for you. I had somebody who signed up who actually got kicked out of the group because she wanted to push through on the 6 weeks and she wanted to do it in 4 days. And she was pissed off that she didn't have access to all 6 weeks, because I make you do the homework, and once you turn it in, you get access to week 2 and week 3 and week 4 and week 5. So you have to go through the weeks. You can't just get the whole 6 weeks and do it in 3 to 4 days, okay? If you think that this is what it is, it's not. If you're in that much of a hurry, go do something else. I don't know of anything else in the world that can give you this kind of earning power in 6 weeks, but if you're not willing to wait the 6 weeks, this is not the group for you, because you have to take the time to saturate yourself into this type of writing and how the whole process works. And if you're not willing to do that for yourself, then don't sign up for this. This is not for you. But if you understand that you're willing to pace it out the 6 weeks, learn everything that you want to learn from this, you want to immerse yourself in this, and you understand that to learn a skill set that takes you only 6 weeks to do, that can earn you 100 to 200,000 or more per year, and you're willing to take the 6 weeks to do it, then this is definitely for you. But if you're trying to cram this into 72 hours, 6 weeks worth of learning, and you're going to get pissed off that you can't do that, don't sign up. I'm not going to tolerate you. I'm not. This is only for certain people. And I'm very, very strict with who I allow in and who I let stay in the group. Believe it or not, I'm very strict, because this is very personal to me. Copywriting is something that I've spent a lot of years doing. And I only take people and I only keep people who I could work with, who are respectable and who understand that this is a process. It's going to take time. Imagine taking 30 years to do this. It's not going to take you 30 years. It's going to take 6 weeks. So be happy with the 6 weeks, because that's pretty short, okay? So if you are one of these people who is really interested in doing this, you know that the earning power is there, you definitely want to be part of this. You want to be part of this next 6-week group that's coming up, which is, again, 100% online. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go anywhere. You just have to basically show up to class and do the assignments. And if that's what you're interested in doing, then you can learn decades worth of copywriting in only 6 weeks. It's a shortcut to copywriting greatness. You can absorb decades of copywriting wisdom, strategies, and psychological triggers in just 6 weeks, even if you're starting from zero. You can harness the power of AI, learn how to use cutting-edge AI tools like ChatGPT, Jasper, Pseudo-Write, and many more to craft attention-getting headlines, persuasive body copy, different sales scripts like video sales letter scripts, phone sales scripts, all of that stuff you can write with the power of AI. You can build a winning portfolio within a couple days. You can create a polished portfolio of professional level copy projects, includes sample sales letters, sample emails, sample ads, to be able to impress your future prospective clients and agencies. Yes, you can work for advertising agencies as well, because you're going to have to create some kind of portfolio that they can look at to see if you have the ability to not only churn out the copy, but also lay it out in a print ready form when everything's said and done. You also want to launch your own copywriting website. It's a very simple website, like 2 to 3 pages that you can put together. Very simple, easy to do. I'm going to share with you how you can get this website up and running within just a couple of hours or less. That's not only professional looking, but it instantly showcases your skills, services, and client testimonials. Now, what's cool about this website is with AI, especially when you use a service like GoDaddy, to help you set up your website, AI basically sets up the website for you. It's their own internal AI system, and it basically sets up the entire website for you, and you just make a couple tweaks here and there. You put your own, contact information, and then your website's done. I mean, a couple hours is a stretch. It might more than likely be less than 20 minutes that you have your entire website set up. So don't get all scared about the website thing. You just want it as a method and a calling card to show that you are not only professional, but you are serious about this business, okay? So you then want to get paid big bucks for your freelance work. You want to land high-paying clients discover exactly how to attract quality clients and avoid time-wasting, low-paying gigs and pain-in-the-ass people that just don't want to pay you, but they want to complain about everything. We don't want those people as clients. We want the high-paying people. We're going to pay us top dollar and leave us alone and let us do our work. So you want to learn what to say, how to price, where to go to get paid well for your work. You want to become in demand as fast as possible, learn the insider secrets to positioning yourself as a premium copywriter, so in demand that you'll start turning down projects left and right that you don't want. You'll get to cherry pick the projects that you want, only doing the fun, interesting stuff that makes your heart sing, right? You want to learn your certificate. You want to earn your certification and get job access as soon as possible. So upon completion of this course, which takes 6 weeks, and upon completion of your certification, you then unlock access to our exclusive job board and client opportunities only available once you become certified. You have to become certified if you're going to work for us. You don't have to become certified if you want to work for other clients. So let's be clear about that. If you want to get through the entire thing in 6 weeks and you don't want to waste your time getting certified by us, you don't have to. You can simply go out and use all the skill sets and the strategies that we share with you, exactly how to get these top paying clientele. And you can use that and go out there and get top paying clientele. You just won't get any jobs from us if you're not certified. And then, of course, customer feedback. So here's what you're going to be getting. You're going to be getting also, we talked about this before, Jason Reed's book, How I Make $1 Million Per Year as a Copywriter. In addition to that, includes people who are currently hiring for copywriting opportunities, high paying people. So this is the only way that you're ever going to be able to get this, is through this offer. And this is mailed out to you. This is not a download book because we don't want it available to every Tom, Dick, or Harry that you want to send the PDF file to. So this is only a physically mailed out book that we will send out to you once you enroll in this group. So we'll send that out to you right away, and it's Jason Reed's own book. Bonus number 2 is $1 million swipe file of some of the best copy ever, also for the first 10 people only. We're only accepting 12 people in this group, by the way. I need to keep my group small to be able to make sure that I maintain a course that can not only do the best for you, but also to allow you to grow into an experienced and talented copywriter that you deserve to be. So these are only kept at 12 people. But for the first 10, you'll get the $1 million swipe file that you can actually emulate some of the best copywriters in the entire world and use that emulated copy and put it into ChatGPT to then create new copy for you that's just as good, if not better, for whatever product or service you're trying to sell for your clientele, okay? So bonus number 3, you can get a follow-up phone call with me personally once you've earned your certificate. This is only for the first 5 people. I don't like to spend a lot of time on the phone, so my time is very valuable. I don't have a lot of time, so therefore I don't do this very often. But for the first 5 people, once you earn your certificate, you'll be able to do a one-on-one call with me, and you can ask me any question that you like about copywriting, about marketing, about sales, about the job postings, whatever you want to ask, okay? And then bonus number 4 is your custom copywriting business website for attracting clients. This is only for the first 3 people. So for those of you that need help or want help being able to get your copywriting business website up and running, you're not a techie person, don't want to learn, that's fine. We can offer this only for the first 3 people because we don't like offering this either because, again, I do these for you to make sure that it's done correctly. I don't just give this to somebody in some foreign country to do for you. I make sure that it's done the way it's supposed to be done. And I don't like spending a lot of time doing these because I don't have the time. So that's why I'm offering this only for the first 3 people that become part of this group. And then bonus number 5, once you earn your certification after 6 weeks going through the 6-week group, you will then be able to access copywriting gigs, paid copywriting gigs. Of course, this bonus is for everybody who registers for this mentorship, and you have to complete your certification. Don't just assume that just because you went through all the course materials that you automatically earn your certification. That's not how this works. Your projects, your assignments are going to be graded and sent back to you, and if they're not up to par, then you'll have to redo them to get the certification. Now remember, you don't have to be certified to get other gigs from other freelancers. In fact, there's a lot of other freelancers out there that want to pay you top dollar. They don't care whether you have a certification or not. But if you want to work for us and do jobs for us, you do have to complete your certification, which includes your final, which is a print-ready piece. So it has to look like it's about to be laid out into a magazine or newspaper for you to be able to get your certification. So it's fairly easy to do if you follow all the course materials, but if you decide to wing it or don't want to watch any of the course materials, then you're probably not going to be able to get certified. So yes, you'll be getting all of this. Your 6-week copywriting cash flow mentorship group, your book called How I Make $1 Million Per Year as a Copywriter by Jason Reed, as well as access to the copywriting gig companies that are in that book. You'll access the $1 Million Swipe File of some of the best copy ever that you can use to emulate and put into ChatGPT to create something new. You also get a follow-up phone call with me personally once you've earned your certificate. You'll also get a custom copywriting business website for attracting your clients. You'll also access copywriting gigs as a certified copywriter. Total value is $12,585. Of course, even if you were able to just get a fraction of this, as far as all of the materials and all of the stuff to be able to get, say, for example, instead of $10,000 to $20,000 per month, you're only able to make $1,000 to $2,000 a week. That's pretty good. I mean, for some of you, you're okay with a fraction of that. I mean, maybe making $2,500 per month. You'd be okay with that. And if that was the case, and if you were just to get just that, that would be worth it. It would be worth it. But what is this worth to you? Is all of this worth $5,000, $10,000, $25,000? For you to even make $2,500 extra per month? I mean, like, how much would that change your life to make an extra $2,500 per month? That would be an extra, what, $30-something thousand per year, $35,000 per year. I mean, to make an extra $35,000 per year, how much is that worth to you? And that's just the low end. That's being super lazy. That's basically not, doing as many jobs as you could be doing. But that's the bare bones minimum, making about an extra $2,500 a month. And you could definitely do that with this, provided that you can actually just go through the 6 weeks. And that's all you have to do is go through the 6-week course and get your certification, or not. It's completely up to you. But remember, you have to be certified to work for us. And, you can get your clientele. And like I said, just making bare minimum $2,500 a month, how much would that be worth to you, okay, to be able to earn that? Would it be worth $5,000, $10,000? What would it be worth? Now, what if you were to make $5,000 per month, or $10,000 a month, or $25,000 a month? What would that be worth to you? How much would you pay to make a consistent $5,000 to $25,000 in net monthly income per month? Would you pay $5,000 for that? Would you pay $10,000 for that? I mean, remember, you can make this money as long as you want to be in the copywriting business. So once you establish yourself and you're making, say, $10,000, $15,000 a month, you can make that forever. Okay, that can be your new income level forever. Okay, so knowing that information, how much would that be worth to you? Would that be worth a one-time fee of $5,000 or $10,000? Knowing that you can make $10,000 to $15,000 every month forever? I don't know what that would be worth to you. Only you can answer that question. So if we were to help you get your portfolio of work completely done with you at your side from start to finish to attract new high-paying copywriting clients, how much would that be worth to you? Remember, the portfolio is everything. You have to have a good portfolio because people are going to be looking at your work. They're going to want to know what you can do and visualize what you can potentially do for them. So they want to know, can you help them? Can you lay this out? Can you help them lay out their website like with the aesthetics of the work? And that's what the portfolio does. That's where the portfolio comes in. So what about helping you get your professional copywriting website up and running to showcase your newly developed talents, including showcasing your brand new portfolio? What would that be worth to you? Or what about guaranteeing that once you get through this in 6 weeks and earn your certification, you'll actually get a copywriting job from us? That's a guarantee. What would that be worth to you? Wouldn't that be priceless? I would think that would be worth endless amounts of money. But for the first 5 people, I have something really amazing. And you can see why this whole thing is a good idea, of course, at $4,997 or even $9,997 for the general public. If you don't know who I am, you're new to the world of Monica Main, that would be a killer deal, don't you think? I think so. But then I realized that I had 2 choices. First option, go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible, which wouldn't have incentivized me to offer this in the first place. Or option number 2, require a little higher of an investment, not a lot, but a little bit higher. In exchange, I could devote more resources, more of my personal time to guarantee your success with this. So I chose option 2. And as a Monica Main student, here's my offer you can't refuse. You like my little face on there? I do. This is my offer you can't refuse. You can get all of this now, not for $2,997. That's way too much. But you can get it for this basement bottom deal now, okay? So you just go to the website, go down below, click on the button, and sign up. you're going to notice that there's a timer. The timer, once it hits 0, it doesn't reset. It just sends you to a page where you either have to pay a lot more money, or it's going to say you snooze, you lose, with this little crybaby person on there, and you won't be able to get in at all. One of those two things will happen once the timer hits 0. So again, if you think it's a fake timer, go ahead and refresh the screen as many times as you like. But once the timer hits 0, again, you either pay more or the opportunity goes away forever. Then you're going to have to wait until I run another group of 12 over a course of 6 weeks, which might be a year from now, might be 2 years from now. I don't know how long that's going to be, but it might be a long time. Because again, like I said, I keep these small at 12 people only to make sure that you get maximum amount of resources and time with me as possible. That's very important to me to make sure that you're trained properly. Now, I do offer an ironclad money back guarantee, but pay very close attention. I've had people in the past, they don't want to read anything, okay? You can't be a copywriter but not want to read, right? So I recommend that you read this word for word, because this is not for somebody who wants to sign up and then within 48 hours they want to cancel. We will not allow you to do that. We do have a very strict refund policy that's on our page where you're going to be able to sign up. You have to agree to this in order for you to be able to sign up. So we will issue you a no questions asked refund immediately upon request once you've completed the course, which takes 6 weeks. This is going to allow you to give this mentorship an honest try. So if you're one of these people who signs up for something, then 24 hours later you want a refund, do not sign up. You're wasting my time and you're taking a slot from somebody else. Okay? We require that you give this system a chance for at least 6 weeks so that you can experience the entire training to make sure that this is for you. If you don't believe that you can or will go through the training for 6 weeks, do not steal a spot from someone else. Do not steal one of the 12 spots. This is for people who are serious only. If you're not serious, you're not willing to abide by this money back guarantee at the time of your enrollment, do not sign up. We don't want you part of the group. It means that you don't know how to follow directions, and it means you're just a flake and you have no idea what you want. We only want people that follow through. And then we give you up to 365 days. Yes. So after the 6 weeks, you have up to a total of 365 days from the day that you enroll in this to fully try this out, to, yes, ask for a refund. If at any point in time in the 365 days after the 6 weeks is over, you feel like this is not for you, then you can get your money back within that 365-day period. We only ask that you go through the 6 weeks. And again, if you do not have the ability, or you know you're a flake, or you know you change your mind after 5 minutes, don't sign up, because then you're stealing a spot from somebody else who really wants to do that, and that's not fair, okay? We only want serious people. I mean, I'm going to be sharing with you hacks and strategies that it's taken me 30 years to learn, coupled with new technology like AI, coupled with giving you jobs once you complete your certification. I'm not doing all of that. I'm not bending over backwards and offering my time in that way to somebody who's a tire kicker who's just going to waste my time. Not interested, okay? So I'm only interested in working with people who are truly serious, who think that this resonates with you. You know that this is really something you've been looking for. This is the perfect business. And if that's you and you're so excited that you can't wait to sign up, then sign up. Enroll now before those 12 slots are taken. So even better, upon getting your first paid job with us, we'll refund your entire tuition for this program. So yes, once you receive your certification and you get your first paid job and we're sending you the check for that first paid job, in that check you're going to find your reimbursement for the amount of money that you paid for this course. So you're basically paying nothing for it. It's just that we're wanting to see how serious you are. We're not going to waste our time on somebody who's not going to follow through. We're not going to offer this to you for free, because then we'd have thousands of people coming into this, and then we don't even know who's serious and who's not. So if you're serious and you put your nose to the grind and do the work and get certified and get your first job, we will give you that we'll give you the check, and we'll give you the reimbursement from the program for the entire tuition that you paid for the program. Okay? Pretty powerful. So the real question here is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time, a couple minutes a day, just to do the work, to do the assignments, to check out the videos, and to go through the course? Is it worth it? Even if it only gives you not half of what I've claimed, maybe even a fraction of what I've claimed. I mean, it would pay for itself in only 6 weeks, don't you think? Beats the heck out of an expensive 4-year degree that some people are still trying to pay off that won't even get you a decent job. I think that those days are over, quite honestly. Or You could be the person who sits on the sidelines, thinks about it, doesn't know, tire kicks your way through life, trying to go from one opportunity to the next, never being successful. And then a year or two from now, thinking back to this moment when you were listening to this training and saying, I wonder what would have happened if I would have went for it, So why be a tire kicker when you know that there's an ironclad, guarantee in place, and you just have to follow the work, do the work. That's it. Just do the assignments and follow suit with everything that's going to be taught to you. You can finally get off the bench, though. You have that opportunity where you can finally get off the bench and take the bull by the horns and do something phenomenal with your life. Listen, the cost of living is not going down. It's just going to get more and more expensive. If you don't already have a second job now, you will. It's going to be required with the higher cost of insurance, the higher cost of, groceries and utilities and everything now. It's just going to keep going up. Higher cost of rent, higher cost of housing. None of that's going down anytime soon, which means that if you don't have a second job or a really good cash flow coming in, you're going to need a second job. You're going to, having a new business on the side, a side hustle, that's not a luxury anymore. It's a requirement if you're going to survive. So I recommend that you enroll now and click on the button and get started, because time is of the essence. There's only 12 people that are going to be allowed in this group. That's it. Once we get to 12, that's it. You have to wait till we run the group again, which might be next year, might be 2 years from now. I don't know. Okay? Because the only way I'm going to be able to guarantee that everybody's going to be able to get a job through our company once they become certified, I can't have hundreds of people coming in for obvious reasons. So that's why we keep it at 12 at a time. So yes, you'll be getting all this: the 6-week copywriting mentorship group, the Jason Reed book, How I Make $1 Million Per Year as a Copywriter, including access to copywriting gigs in the book, the $1 Million Swipe file of some of the best copy ever written that you can use in the AI system to emulate and create new copy, follow-up phone call with me personally once you've earned your certificate, custom copywriting business website for attracting clients, including adding your portfolio to that website, access to copywriting gigs as a certified copywriter from our company, total value $12,585, but you're going to be getting it for a steal today, okay? But again, there's going to be a timer down below, and once it hits 0, that's it. You either get to pay more money or you don't get to participate at all, okay? That's it. Limited to 12 people only. Now, if you need a payment plan, there's a payment plan option when you click the link below on the page, and you'll be able to do a payment plan. You're going to be paying a little bit more money, but you will have the opportunity to do a payment plan if you can't afford the lump sum today. So that is an option for you as well. But again, I'm very serious about this being limited to only 12 people, because I can't have a bunch of people in this group, and I certainly can't offer more than 12 people copywriting jobs either. So if you didn't sign up immediately, reason number 1, maybe you're just not ready to invest in yourself and a better future for yourself. Maybe number 2, maybe you just don't believe you're capable, or that you deserve this. Some people actually believe that they don't deserve anything, that they don't deserve to have anything. Maybe you don't deserve $20,000 a month. That's what you think. So if that's the case, then I'm not sure why you're still watching. Because if you don't believe that you deserve this or that you're capable of this, then your mind's going to prove to you that you're right. So you got to pull out of that, or you got to just decide to do nothing. That's the only 2 choices you have, really. Reason number 3 is maybe you just don't need or want that kind of money. And if that's the case, I'm not sure why you're still watching this training. Now, I'm not special, really. That's me standing in front of my childhood house in Markham, Illinois, where I grew up. It's a 2-bedroom house. I'm nothing special. I'm just a Midwest girl. I was never good at math, English, or anything in school, really. I suck at communicating with people, and I can't sell my way out of a paper bag. But I made millions of dollars as a copywriter with my own sales and marketing businesses. And I know what I'm talking about, and I know what I'm doing. And I can give that experience to you, that 30+ years of experience, and I can roll it all up into 6 weeks for you so that you can start making money as a copywriter yourself. So how am I able to do this? Because of being in the business of writing and marketing for over 30 years, I can offer this to you. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in finite trainings and ongoing education with sales and marketing and copywriting over the years. And I've constantly been staying up to date on the current trends of what's going on, especially when it comes to marketing. and you can ride on my back and piggyback off of everything that I know and what I continue to learn over the course of the next several months and years. Now, wouldn't it just be easier to piggyback off of me and my experience level? Well, Sam did, and now he earns $4,800 per week, and he specializes in direct mail marketing, newsletters, and content. That's what he writes. Or Emily, she makes $3,300 per week on average, specializing in website copy for highly responsive website funnels. Or take George, he earns about $4,500 per week on average, specializing in direct mail marketing, newsletters, and content as well. Or Sarah, who makes on average about $6,500 per week on average, specializing in writing emails, website copy, ads, and sales copy. So life's too short to reinvent the wheel. You can, again, go get a bunch of Amazon books for $10, learn how to do copywriting, but that's still not going to help you find clients, still not going to help you get paid, still not going to help you set up a portfolio or a website or any of that stuff to set up your business. This is a business, okay? This isn't just some side job that you're getting. This is a business that you're setting up. And I'm going to show you exactly how to set the business up to be successful. So you're going to be getting all this, the 6-week copywriting cash flow mentorship group, how I make 1,000 or 100,000, not even 100,000. Yes, it actually makes about 80,000 per month, 80,000+ per month, or $1 million per year as a copywriter, by Jason Reed, including access to copywriting gigs in this book, $1 million swipe file of some of the best copy ever, follow-up phone call with me personally once you earn your copywriting certificate, custom copywriting business website for attracting clients, including with your portfolio, access to copywriting gigs as a certified copywriter with our company, total value $12,585, but you're getting it for a fraction of that. And if that's too much for you, there is a payment plan, which when you click on the button on the website, you can check out the payment option. It's going to be a little more, but we do have a payment option. Now remember, once you get certified and you get paid your first copywriting assignment through our company, not other people's companies, but our company, then we will not only send you your first check, but we'll also send you reimbursement for every penny you paid into your group, into the 6-week group, okay? Remember, this is limited to only 12 people. So you want to get started right now because you want to invest in your future right now, today, while you're thinking about it, while you want to do it, while this resonates with you. So then that way you can start working toward your certification over the course of the next 6 weeks. And then thereafter, shortly thereafter, start getting those high paid copywriting assignments from not only our company, but also other high paying clientele as well, which we're going to also share with you exactly how to find that clientele. All right. So this has been fun with you guys. I really enjoyed every second that I spent with you. But remember, this is only for 12 people. And once the door closes, that's it. Usually it takes us quite some time for us to load in another 12 people to train, whereas we can find more copywriters to write for our company. And so we don't want too many people. Plus, we want to give you our best one-on-one time possible. And that's why we only offer this to 12 people at a time. Okay? So sign up now while you still can, while the opportunity is present. And I would like you to check out some of our testimonials. So I'm going to share those with you right now in the next video sequence. But as it stands now, this is Monica Meehan signing off, and I will see you in the group.
Wow. Just wow. Okay. This 6-week copywriting crash course has opened up a whole new world of income possibilities for me. I had no idea how lucrative the world of copywriting was until I dived in. Yes, the training is intense, but incredibly rewarding. Each lesson packed with practical, real-world skills that you can start implementing right away. The best part? Once I got my certificate, I quickly realized just how many high-paying copywriting opportunities are out there. Jobs that pay thousands of dollars each. I even had access to the company's posted jobs, each worth thousands of dollars per assignment. It's crazy to think that I can earn a full-time income while working just part-time hours and living life on my own terms. So if you're looking for a way to really earn big without being tied to an office or a boss, then copywriting is hands down your best choice.
I never imagined how profitable copywriting could be until I took this 6-week course. And let me tell you, it's challenging, but really fun. And there's no previous writing experience needed, just a willingness to learn and follow a proven copywriting formula. Now, the course breaks everything down step by step, making it simple to understand how to write engaging sales copy that businesses are willing to pay big money for. So once you earn your certificate, you get paid writing opportunities, and with the course's fully refundable tuition, there's absolutely no risk. What's more, the beauty of copywriting is that once you master the formula, it becomes easier and faster to create copy that sells products and services for businesses, and the demand is high, and the pay is outstanding for each assignment. So whether you want to earn extra cash or even turn it into a full-time income, copywriting is the ultimate opportunity. You know, I never expected to be making great money from home while part-time, but now I'm living proof how profitable being a copywriter can be. So if you're looking for a way to earn on your own terms with flexibility and freedom, this is the perfect way to earn extra money.
The fiction profits formula works like gangbusters, but it only works when you work, if that makes sense. For me, all I did was follow the steps. They're not hard. I just put one foot in front of the other, and it changed my life. The future now for me is like a great wide open. The future is so bright, I gotta wear shades. I know that's super corny, but that's how I feel right now. I'm just so excited to finally have found something that works. I've bought into so much crap over the years that I'm grateful that I just kept on grinding and found something that truly works. And it is the world's most perfect business. Needless to say, I am a believer and a fan for life.
You know, copywriting, it's one of the most lucrative and underrated skills out there. You don't need a degree, years of experience, or a previous writing experience. You just need a laptop, an internet connection, and the knowledge from this training. And you can work anywhere in the world and set your own schedule and make a full-time income working only part-time. So this copywriting crash course was hands down the best thing that I've ever done. I was struggling to find a legitimate way to earn extra income. And this was it. Exactly what I was looking for. Not only was the training fast, it was fun and engaging. But I got immediate access to posted high-paying jobs immediately after earning my certificate. So if you're looking for financial freedom, flexibility, and a profession that pays you to be creative, this is the opportunity that you've been waiting for, because this will give you the extra income you want.
Taking the 6-week copywriting crash course was incredible for me. The training was intense. It was engaging and packed with real-world copywriting strategies that just boosted my skills right away. Earning my copywriting certificate was a proud moment for me, and the real magic began when I gained instant access to a range of posted paid jobs exclusively for course graduates. These opportunities have allowed me to land high-paying copy jobs on my own terms, opening up a whole new level of financial freedom. If you're serious about mastering copywriting and unlocking lucrative job prospects, this course is your ticket to success.